The ultimate tournament of everything.
Welcome to this Tournament of Everything Scouting Report, where we take a look at one competitor out of everything on Wikipedia and tell you a little bit about them, kind of like Stumble Upon, but in a podcast.
That's right. We go through the infinite deck of cards that is existence, and we ask ourselves to pick a card, any card. We then glance at it and think, well, is this going to be handy when the river gets flipped? We'll have to see. And tonight we're going to randomly generate just one card to discuss and evaluate. So, Rob, what is that randomly generated character?
Our randomly generated article off Wikipedia is about Henry Grady Weaver.
Ah, yes, the individual that was the director of customer research staff for General Motors Corporation and shown on the cover, as a matter of fact, of the November 14th, 1938 issue of Time magazine. Rob, you made it to the cover of Time magazine once, didn't you?
That's right, I am Time Person of the Year 2006.
Yes, and aren't we all? Unless you weren't around then, which you may be if you're listening to a podcast. You're probably pretty young, probably pretty hip, and even if not, I hope you think of yourself as such. Now, this Henry Grady Weaver is credited with developing the use of the survey questionnaire to investigate customer preferences for design features in cars. What do you like? We could probably give it to you.
Now that surprises me. I guess it had to be invented by someone, but the fact that they waited until the 1930s to go, hey, you're going to buy this. What do you want it to be? That seems like a late thing to me.
Well, when were cars invented? When did they start? I mean,
Wait, 40 years before that.
so I mean the late 1800s?
Yeah. But
Perhaps
you don't think they had surveys for other things like what brand of cabbage do you like and how tightly do you want your shoes to fit?
I don't think the brands of cabbage were probably that big of an issue back then.
Chiquita cabbages.
Yeah. Speaking of back then, though, let's jump back to his early life and even his education. He was named after, but not related to, Henry Woodfin Grady, who died on the day before Weaver was born. He was nicknamed Buck Weaver after the baseball player of the same name, who later was part of the 1919 Black Sox scandal.
He was born in Eatonton, Georgia, and obtained his Bachelor of Science from Georgia Tech in 1911. Now, like any great true American hero, he had to overcome some adversity. Blind in his right eye since birth, he worked as a mechanic, salesman, and draftsman before becoming director of customer research at General Motors. It was for that work that he was placed on the cover of the aforementioned Time magazine.
Though he was best known for his work, The Mainspring of Human Progress. This is a libertarian history book published in 1947 by Talbot Books. Not exactly sure what it's about, but that is one heck of a title, The Mainspring of Human Progress. This was all during the, what was it? The revolution, something.
No,
Yes.
it's a little past the Industrial Revolution.
It is.
Yeah, past that. But 1940s round when it was written.
All right. Well, this guy was also around in the 1940s until he was no longer around as of January 3rd, 1949. But speaking of being no longer around, this episode is over. If you'd like to find another one, however, you can check it out every single day. We've got new stuff coming out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have our full-length episodes, 9 rounds of head-to-head competition between two randomly generated competitors of the infinite.
And there'll be shorts like this one any other day that's not one of those Tuesdays or one of those Thursdays. So we'll see you on your morning commute, maybe when you're shoveling the driveway, or perhaps even when you're taking a break from reading whatever book he just wrote, The Mainspring of Human Progress. And this has been the end of our progress.
The ultimate tournament of everything.